Well, our guest is internationally known psychologist, radio and television personality, Dr. Kevin Leman. He's a best-selling award-winning author of over 30 titles. His latest book is Have a New Kid by Friday. Dr. Leman, in the last half of your book, you're very candidly addressing over 100 of the hottest topics on parenting today.
Yeah, people always comment that part of the book is so real. And I said, well, why wouldn't it be real? They come from real people like you and I who are asking me questions, and I just took a bunch of them and put them together and to make it a book that's easy to read, fun to read, and then here's your index of, all right, what do you need some help with? Here's some ideas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know we have a lot of questions for you, but I just wanted to make a comment before we move on to that. What you were saying before, this whole parenting style of just bring the consequences with no warning.
He calls it reality.
Okay, I have a justice thing, you know what I mean? Like if I were a kid and that happened to me, I'd be like, that's not fair. You never told me that was going to happen.
That's part of the whole enlightenment. Let me tell you a story about a motorcycle cop.
Like if you're going to punish me, don't you just say, if you don't do this, I will do that. But there's none of that.
Now see, I'm so glad you brought that up because this never works. If you say to your kids, and this is what most parents do, now listen to me, if you don't get out there and clean that up right now, you are not going to the hockey game. Do you understand me? That has never worked. It's not going to work. Okay, and that's not reality discipline. Reality discipline, what I talk about, pull the rug out and let the little buzzard tumble, is you let him get ready. You let him get all his gear together. He's got his stick in his bag and he's about out the door. He says, come on, Mom, we got to go. Coach gets mad when we're late. Honey, the car's not going anywhere, neither are you. I asked you to do that, and I see it's not done. Now, at that point, they'll negotiate like a Philadelphia attorney. They'll tell you, I'll pull weeds for life. Just let me go, you know. Don't give in. So what you're suggesting, Cheryl, is that, you know, this is part of the entitlement, that I'm entitled to a warning. My daughter got pulled over by a cop in Tucson, Arizona. And he's got a little Christian fish. You know, Christians love that fish. I mean, we put that sucker every place. You know, look at me, I'm a Christian. If they could only drive like Christians, that would be helpful. But anyway, she gets pulled over and she sees a little Christian fish on the guy's lapel. And she says, oh, you're a Christian. I'm a Christian too. And he said to her, then young lady, then you'll realize how important it is that I give you this ticket.
Oh.
Cheryl, under conviction. See, but that's the entitlement thing. Listen, who wouldn't want a warning? I'd like a warning, but I'm telling you, in life, there's not warnings.
So are you saying it's something that you have to just lay out as a family, that there are certain things when you're asked to do things, you must do them. If you do not do them, there will be consequences, and the consequences will be identified as we go along? Is that what you're basically saying?
Let me steal this book.
Sure. You don't even have to explain that, right?
Here's somebody reading my book. They close the book. Now the temptation is to say something like, all right, everybody listen up. Tomorrow morning at 0800, this family is going to be different. I would suggest not doing that. When you close this book, just say, you know what? I can't wait for my kids to misbehave. I'm ready for them.
Oh, that's good.
And so there's no warnings. It's by your actions.
It keeps you from being a screaming Mimi.
Oh yeah, it does.
Doesn't it, as a parent?
Oh yes.
You know, it's interesting because it's like shocking what you're saying because it almost in some ways sounds so mean, but it's like we've gone the other way, the wrong way, and just let kids kind of rule us and take over, that when we hear these kinds of things, it's like, shocking, which it really shouldn't be.
If you ever have children, remember this.
Okay.
Now, the school year is still going on, right? We're right at the end of the school year?
It's almost
All right. Now, how many parents start their day yelling and screaming at their kids, reminding them, telling them that bus is going to be here. If you don't get out here, John David, now notice you put the middle name in there, you know, when you're really angry.
They come in handy for that.
And for every mommy or dad listening, watching us, hey, what do you feel like once your kid gets on the bus? Do you really want to start your day yelling and screaming at your kids?
Dragon lady, exhausted.
Yeah. Would you like to try what Leman says? Then tomorrow morning, well, tomorrow's Saturday, so Monday morning, okay? Monday morning, tomorrow, don't wake that son or daughter up. What do you mean don't wake him up? I don't wake him up, he's going to be late for school. Now you're catching on. And when he gets up at 10 o'clock, he's going to be one angry little dude at 15 years of age. okay? And he's going to make it your fault, and you're going to say very matter-of-factly, from now on, I'm no longer your human alarm clock. You can set an alarm clock, and you can get yourself up to school. Now, you have to drive them. Oh, that's another thing I don't like about you, Leman. This is an inconvenience. This thing called parenthood is an inconvenience.
I highlighted that in my book and put a star next to it.
Yeah, so so you have to drive them to school, but here's the beauty of it. Here's the note you have to write. Dear principal, Fletcher has absolutely no reason to be late today to school. He chose to sleep in. Feel free to do whatever you do to kids who are legally tardy, love mom. Now, once you do that with the kids are going to think you lost it, number one. But boy, does it work. And you only have to do it once.
So you let him face the music, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you get a more responsible child.
That's why I'm telling you, this is simple. I'm not the brightest bulb in the tree. But
okay, listen, well, with that shirt, you're pretty bright. But anyway, no, we actually went back to the streets of Toronto, and our summer intern, Jacqueline Habib, gathered a few questions from some concerned
You're going to beat me
parents.
up more?
We're going to throw some questions at you from Toronto. Here we go.
Oh, how to get teenagers to do their homework? That would be the main thing. I think the main problem when my kids were growing up. And it seems to be the main problem with my grandkids, too.
How to get them to do their homework.
This is so amusing to me because here's the typical home. Hey, would you kids turn that TV down there? I'm trying to do your homework. the parents do the homework. They do the science project. They help way too much. This goes back to the principle that B doesn't start till A gets completed. Nothing happens. So if a kid isn't doing well in school, he's missing assignments, he's 16 years old, he's driving a car. Now you're the one that gave him the keys to the car. You have to hit the kid where it hurts, with a car. Not at 80, what do you call it, 80?
Miles per hour?
Not miles an hour, I'd call it, what do you call it?
Kilometers.
Kilometers.
Kilometers,
80
not at
kilometers.
80, just hit him with the car keys. Don't let him drive. And just take it from him. And so, again, you're talking to a guy that graduated fourth and bottom of his class in high school. I was not the guy who was supposed to do it. My sister was perfect, still is, puts newspaper under the cuckoo clock, which I'll never understand. And my brother, look at Moira. Look at Moira. You gotta look at that.
I'm always slow to get your jokes. You
Film
know
at
that,
11 of
Kevin.
Moira. Here's Moira Brown.
I didn't graduate fourth in the bottom, but I'm slow in jokes.
All right, here's a joke again. Think about it, Moira. My firstborn sister puts newspaper under the cuckoo clock. Joining us today is Moira Brown. Thank you for being with us tonight.
I get it.
Okay, that joke was a little
It's
obscure.
not a
To be
real
fair to
person.
Moira, just a little obscure.
But anyway,
But
I'm a
he
guy.
does have a point.
I'm a guy
He's
that
getting
didn't make
to
it. And my mother, God bless her, she prayed for me every day of my life. I wanted no part of God. I thought you Christians were the geekiest people known to mankind. But, you talk about, there's probably a lot of parents who are really worried about their kids. Hey, you got to pray for them. And you got to model, And they're not, every kids just don't fall in line. And some kids go through some things before they get their lives turned around.
So you're saying with the homework, let them face the music with the homework. Don't help them with it. Let them face the consequences of not having it done.
Yeah, and I'm not against a parent helping with a homework, and I want to show interest.